Hey guys, welcome back to the UI Dev channel. My name is Gabor and I am a user interface designer. First of all, thank you very much for all of you who subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me. And today, because we have had some requests about components, variants, and auto layout. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about that. So let's just dive in. Create a component first. That is going to be a button. Hello, I am a button. Maybe that's a bit too long, so I'm a button. Let's create auto layout, hit Shift A. And it already gives, if you can see here in the auto layout panel, it already gives us some padding. So we have left and right padding 10 pixels and top and bottom padding 10 pixels as well, but we can change this. So I'm just going to change this to 20 and this one to 12, and I want to add background color that is going to be orange, and the text is black, and the text can be bold. So we have this button, auto layout button now. If we are typing more text to it, it's going to resize it automatically, which is really nice. But let's say we also want to add some icons. So we have here some icons. You can download this from the link in the description. I'm just going to copy and paste. And let's make sure that everything is in the center. And I want to put this here, just dragging to the left. And now we can hit this button to create the component. And if you notice, we have this little diamond icon. This indicates that this is the master component. So whenever we are working with a child component, let's just grab, we have the instances or the child component here. We can grab it from here, or we can grab it from here, or we can just simply duplicate it. And as you can see, it doesn't have this icon anymore. But in the layers panel, you see that it has this kind of icon that it indicates that this is a child component. So if I change the color on this one, let's say blue, it will automatically change here as well. Or if I put the icon to the right side, it automatically updates on the child components as well. So this is really helpful if you have a big app with lots of buttons. Let's say we have, for example, 3 buttons and the client wants to change the color. You can just change on the master component and it automatically updates everywhere. A little trick that I use lots of the times, let's say we have another page and we are pasting the button instance here, and we have lots of other elements and we are kind of a bit lost at where is the master component. You can just right click and go to main component, and this is automatically takes you to the master component, which is really good. I'm going to delete this page for now, we don't need it. But let's say that we have different kind of properties, like we want to have an icon on the right, an icon on the left. We can, let's just quickly rename this to button. And let's say that we want to add the properties. First of all, I'm just going to change the color back to this yellowish and actually add corner radius so it looks much more like a button. So let's say that we have a left icon property, a text property, and a right icon property. So we are going to create, first of all, a Boolean, which is a true and false statement. And let's say this is the left icon. And we have a text. Let's create another Boolean and say text. And it's true because it has a text. Create property, and at last we have the right icon, so another Boolean, and we say right icon. Okay, so now you have these info icons that it says it's not used within the component because we need to assign this element to the Boolean. So if I double click on this component, I can select the contents inside. So let's select the left icon, and in the layer here in this panel on the layer, we are going to assign this to this left icon Boolean that we just created. We do the same with the text, with the layer here, which is the text Boolean. And here we're gonna do the same, the layers, and select the right icon Boolean. And if we are grabbing an instance from here, you can see in the properties panel that we have these switches now because of the true and false statement. We can just quickly turn on and off what we need. So let's say we just need the text, or duplicate it, and let's say we just need an icon, and we just have an icon. Or let's say we have a text with the right icon. So this is really helpful. This is really cool. What we can also do, because we have these icons in components already, we can assign in the master component, we can assign that this is an icon. So this is an instance. So we can actually assign a swap instance for this. And to do that, you just need to go here and create a swap instance and create property. And hopefully, if I switch this one to the left icon, switch off the right one, we have an instance here, and we can change the icons, which is coming from this little library here on the left. So this is very helpful. What we can also do is add another property that is the text property, and say text, and the default is button, create property. And here in the, if I select in the master component the text layer, I'm just going to the content and say this is the text. So in the child component, we have in the properties panel, we have this text input field that we can update with hello, I am a button. And there you go. We have all the different properties. You can switch off the icons, you can switch off the text, you can choose a different icon, or you can update your text. So this is really nice, really helpful. So now we have for this button the properties selected. Let's say that we also have some variants. That means, for example, we have different states for the buttons: hover, pressed, disabled. So if you want to create that, we can just go on the top of the panel, select the component first, and just go on the top of the panel and hit add variant. And now we have a second variant. And if you notice, we have this dashed kind of stroke. This indicates that this is a component, but it has variants inside. If you want, you can resize it. Or if you want to have more states, you can hit this plus icon, or you can select and add it here as well. Let's say now we have 4 different states, and for the variant property, this is the first property that we have. Let's rename this to state, and this can be the default. Let's say this is the hover. Let's say this is focused. And we have a disabled state. I'm just deleting these instances, child components. So for the hover state, I want to use a different color, maybe a bit darker orange. For the focused state, maybe we add a stroke that is inside, and 3, and the stroke color. Let's say it's this one. And this one, we don't need the state here. And this one is the disabled state. So this one is going to be gray, and the font gray as well. So this indicates that this is disabled. And for now, if I go to an artboard, select it, and just click on this component, it's going to add it here. I don't need the right icon. And the text is visit Iceland. And the state, because we have the different states, you can just choose it from the drop-down menu, which is super cool and super helpful. With this just 10 minutes, we created a component with different states and different properties, and we can use this all across our web design or app design. So now let's talk about auto layout properties, and where to use them, how to use them, why is it important to use them. So for example, we have this image, we have a title, and we have a description. And let's say I want to create a card. So let's just select everything, hit Shift A to create auto layout, and I want to add a background color. Let's say it's this one, and let's make the color of the text black. And by default, the orientation is vertical, but here we can change lots of stuff. We can change this to horizontal if we want. We can change the spacing between them. So if you click here, it actually selects. So you can see that it's going to change the spacing. You can type a different number here, or you can just grab with your mouse left and right. You can change the padding on the left and right. Let's say it's 24, and top and bottom is 24 as well. The corner radius is 16 or 12. And maybe the background I'm going to change to white. And if I click back again to the spacing, it's the spacing between the items. This is the horizontal padding, left and right. And this is the top and bottom. We can change these. If you want to change these individually, we can hit this icon to set independent paddings. And now let's say I want to have for the left 40, but the right is 20, the top is 20 as well, and the bottom is like 56. So we can set that, or we can set it back if we hit the button again. And I'm going to set it back to 24. And if I'm going to resize this frame, I can choose where the contents are going to be. So let's just select the frame, and I can say this is in the middle, on the bottom left corner, or in the middle, or in the bottom right. So you can change these. But for now, I just want to have it as we had it before. And let's say I want to put more text. We need to set the height to contents. And if I'm adding more content, it automatically stretches it. But let's say I want to make a different card. So I'm just going to copy this and grab the contents out of this frame, delete this one. And let's say I want to create a little card with text. But if I am adding more text, I want this picture to stretch vertically. So how can we do that? Just going to select the title and the description, and I'm gonna create auto layout. Now select everything I'm going to create auto layout again, and now it's placing on the middle, but I want it on the left top actually, and the background is white, corner radius is 12, and what I want to do is add some padding, 16, and this one is not fixed, this is field container, and hopefully if I am copying and pasting some text, this image will stretch. And yeah, there you go, this is stretching, it's super helpful. Or if we have, let's say I'm going to duplicate this, select both of them and put it to auto layout by holding down the shift and hitting A. And if I want to have one more card, I just duplicate it, and there you go, it's already in the auto layout, so we don't need to move everything precisely. We can set the spacing between the cards, or if we are set this to fill container, and if we are resizing this card, it's going to automatically break the contents and stretches the whole card, which is very cool. Or let's say we want to create a menu or a list. Let's say this is photography, and I'm creating auto layout. The spacing between these is 12, and I want to change this create one more. Let's select another icon, this briefcase, and I want to put everything in auto layout. And let's say we have another element like this backpack. Auto layout again, 12, and if I want to add this to the list, I can just simply grab and place it inside, and it's automatically going to place it for us. There is some other properties in the panel that I want to talk about, which is I'm using actually quite frequently. So let's just create auto layout, and now the spacing between them is 40, and let's say if I resize this frame, it stays because everything is set to fixed. But if I change this to fill container, it's going to fill the container. Let's just add a background so we can see what we are working with. Just quickly add some padding. So if I set this to fixed, it's going back and it keeps the spacing between them 40. But if I want these elements to stretch all the way, I just simply select these inside rectangles and set from fixed to filled container. Or if I don't want to stretch, let's set back to fixed and 40. I don't want to stretch, but I want this element to be pasted equally inside of this frame. So what I can do, I just select the frame, and here there is this 3 dots that opens a menu, and I can select from pack to space between, and that's going to equally spaced between. And if I'm resizing, it just keeps the proportions, which is very cool and very helpful. For example, if you want to create a menu, that's really nice. Let's see a different scenario. We have these avatars, and I am going to create autolayout again and say the spacing between them is negative now. So let's say it's 24, but I want the first to be on the top and the last one is behind on the bottom. So what I can do is go to this menu again and select the canvas stacking, last on top, and I can change this to first on top. And if you can see in this preview, it already shows us what is going to happen. So this is really cool. For example, for avatars, you can use this, or different kind of stuff. It's really useful. I use these techniques almost every day during my work. And I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.